We're expecting a baby, and get this, the due date is our anniversary.
Oh, well, I'm not pregnant. Well, I guess that's obvious. I'm a surrogate.
Wow, congratulations.
You guys have kids? If you need the name of a surrogate service, ours was flawless.
Oh, no, thanks. It's not a surrogate situation. We're just not having children.
You don't want kids?
Well, no, we love them. It's just not for us.
So it's going to be just you two?
That is a scene from Sex and the City. Sex and the City 2, we should say, where Carrie defends the fact that she is not a mother. This week's Time cover story is calling The Child-Free Life. It looks at why more women from all backgrounds are choosing not to have kids and how that impacts us all. Time contributor Lauren Sandler wrote the piece and joins us at the table. I think that is such a good clip because there was a time when women were judged. You mean you're not having children? What's wrong with you?
They're still judged. I feel like that moment was something that I heard described by so many people who I interviewed for this story, where everything switches. All of a sudden, you're less of a human if you're an adult woman who says it's not for me.
And the answer to the question why women are making this choice is?
Well, I think that a lot of women just don't have the Jones for it, and they're frankly feeling a little bit more empowered to stand up for that right now. Also, kids are really expensive, and as we all know, our economy is not helping us support that. We have a lousy policy that doesn't help us support it. We work more hours than any other country in the world, and I think it's really tough, so I think it has to be something you really want if you're going to commit to it, and there are plenty of people who are saying, it is just not for me. I have a fulfilled life without it.
So it's more than just money. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say, for those people who choose not to, are there common traits among them?
Well, it's interesting. I found in my own reporting that a lot of people told me about not playing with dolls as kids, not wanting to babysit, not playing house. But often I think that it's just a real commitment to following your own desire. And for some people, having kids is a big part of that desire, and for other people it's not. And instead of saying, okay, live life on your own terms, we tend to judge them for it.
Do you find people who chose not to that later regret it? And how serious are they?
A lot of people told me that they feared the fear, that people have told them that they will regret it. In terms of the older women that I interviewed, they didn't really tell me that.
And it's always about the women. What about, where do men stand on this issue in terms of regret?
Well, it's interesting. I spoke
to choice.
Right, I spoke to a lot of men who don't have kids and would really like them, but our conversation is about women. The social science is about women. Our cultural debate is about women. And I think that that's in part because it's really recent in human history that women have said, this isn't for me. And honestly, I don't think that we really know what to do with that. You know, what is an adult woman if she's not a mother? It's something that we haven't come to terms with yet.
So what are the implications here?
Well, it's interesting. I think that we're dealing with it more as a present tense issue than something that we have to fear in the future. I mean, there are demographers and economists who are anxious about our lowered birth rate. But I think that the thing to focus on right now is really making it okay for people to make their own choice without having so much judgment in our culture.
Could it affect the immigration debate, do you think?
It's interesting. I interviewed one woman who is the daughter of immigrants, and she described how for immigrant women there's even more pressure. If your parents have risked everything to come here for future generations and then you don't provide any, it's such a slap in the face. And I think that we don't think about those cultural terms when we think about the choices of immigrant women.
Are there any implication in terms of what's been done and the studies that are made? Are there anything? Is intelligence a factor here? For example, some people raise the question that you can look and some of the data suggest that.
There is one controversial researcher at the London School of Economics who has studied data in England and seen a real correlation between IQ and not having a child. I wonder if that means that you have enough to support your own difficult choice that society tells you is not what you should stick with. If it's about that more than it is an inherent intelligence.
Exactly. Thank you, Lauren.